This is NNC, Neural Newscast. All the day's news and information you need to know starts now.
Thanks for joining us for this Neural Newscast deep dive. I'm Laura, your health correspondent. With me is James, our commentary reporter. Let's dig into some intriguing stories. On this day in 1789, on the final day of its first session, the United States Congress passed an act recognizing and adapting to the new Constitution while formally establishing troops that had been raised under earlier congressional resolves.
It's striking how that one move paired constitutional recognition with a practical step, bringing already raised troops under the new legal framework instead of leaving them in limbo.
Right, founding moments weren't just legal abstractions, they had immediate human consequences, including soldiers waiting for clarity about their status and service.
From a policy perspective, the message was clear. The constitutional order could act quickly on urgent needs, translating ideals into administration without delay.
There's a public health adjacent angle too. Stability and clear governance support community well-being. Formalizing military arrangements under the Constitution contributes to orderly administration, which in turn supports civilian life.
Exactly. Governance decisions ripple outward. Military organization, legal recognition, public confidence, all reinforced by a single legislative act.
In one stroke, Congress affirmed the Constitution's authority and regularized the ranks. History distilled into a concrete step with real-world effects.
A concise example of law meeting lived experience and a window into the practical priorities on that final day of the first session.
Those overlaps, laying the legal foundation while handling immediate administrative needs, say a lot about the early republic's priorities.
And they highlight the necessity of bridging ideals with implementation, especially at the birth of new institutions.
A short clause with lasting weight, recognition, adaptation, and establishment of troops to align what was already in motion with the Constitution's framework.
Exactly. History captured in action, not just on parchment.
Quick pause. When we return, birthdays with a leadership twist. Today, we celebrate the birthdays of Horatio Nelson, 1758, Enrico Fermi, 1901, and Jerry Lee Lewis, 1935.
Laura, you suggested we zoom in on Horatio Nelson, his life, achievements, and how he shaped the world. So let's dive in.
Nelson's story is almost cinematic. Born in 1758, he rose through the Napoleonic Wars and by Trafalgar became synonymous with daring tactics at sea and personal courage under fire.
What always strikes me is how his tactical innovations changed naval warfare. He didn't just command ships. He reshaped how fleets thought about initiative and concentrated force.
There's a human side too. His indomitable spirit and the way he inspired crews. In public health and crisis response, that translates to clear command, morale, and decisive action when stakes are high.
Tactically, he favored breaking the enemy line, deceptively simple, but requiring extraordinary confidence and coordination. In the age of sail, that level of risk was anything but routine.
His legacy isn't just about victories, it's about how nations remember leaders. Nelson's image, statues, stories help cement Britain's sense of naval supremacy and national identity.
There's a tension there. A celebrated hero whose fame also served strategic political ends. How he's remembered tells us as much about the era that elevated him as about his own accomplishments.
A lesser-known detail, his leadership often meant being physically present, visible on deck, sharing danger with sailors, which amplified loyalty. That proximity matters in any high-stakes field, including medicine and public service.
And Trafalgar, his signature victory, helped lock in Britain's maritime dominance for years, with ripple effects across diplomacy, trade, and even scientific exchange.
Those ripples shaped the movement of people, goods, and ideas, indirectly influencing public health and scientific progress, another way his tactics and courage fed a broader legacy.
Nelson's story also prompts reflection on sacrifice. He died in service, and that finality intensified the symbolism around him. Leaders who fall in action often become larger-than-life figures.
Which is why we mark these birthdays, not to varnish history, but to trace the threads. How a naval commander born in 1758 still informs leadership, strategy, and collective memory today.
Exactly. Nelson's life remains a powerful lens for seeing how individual decisions at critical moments can redirect history.
And his legacy persists in military doctrine, national narratives, and the ways organizations think about courage and responsibility, still relevant centuries on. Stay with us after the break, a cultural in memoriam that echoes across music and dance.
This is Neural Newscast, where machine learning meets meaningful reporting. All stories are reviewed for accuracy before release. Find our full archive at neuralnewscast.com.
Welcome back to Neural Newscast Deep Dive. Let's turn to our fact of the day. The piece in memoriam Dizzy Gillespie and Rudolf Nureyev notes the deaths of two towering figures, Dizzy Gillespie, the jazz trumpeter, and Rudolf Nureyev, the ballet star, bringing that era's cultural losses into stark relief.
Pairing a jazz innovator with a ballet icon underscores the breadth of loss. Both reshaped their art forms in ways that resonated far beyond their immediate circles.
Right, and calling them towering figures speaks to impact, not just fame. Gillespie set new standards in jazz improvisation, and Nureyev redefined male virtuosity in ballet.
There's a parallel there. Each challenged expectations within a tradition. Gillespie's rhythmic and harmonic daring, Nureyev's technique and presence. Their passings closed, defining chapters.
That phrase, bringing that era's cultural losses into stark relief, captures a shift, a moment when audiences worldwide had to confront the void left by two pioneers.
And presenting it as an in memoriam invites reflection, not just announcement. It asks us to consider legacy and how influence continues after the artists are gone.
Exactly. There's an elegiac tone, but also recognition that their innovations keep echoing. Mentioning both together feels consequential rather than incidental.
When major artists pass, it's more than personal grief. It's a cultural punctuation mark that prompts institutions, peers, and the public to reassess and celebrate their contributions.
Framing their deaths together also highlights the interconnectedness of the arts, how loss in one arena reverberates across others, with music and dance mourning in the same breath.
And it situates the historical moment, two giants gone, leaving a legacy that would shape how future performers and audiences understood jazz and ballet. Thanks for tuning into our deep dive. I'm James, and from Laura and the Neural Newscast team, we'll see you next time.
Stay informed beyond the headlines. Visit neuralnewscast.com for daily episodes, specialty shows, deep dive segments, and breaking special coverage. Neural Newscast merges real and AI-generated voices to ensure rapid, high-quality news production. Our content is created using advanced AI models and rigorously reviewed by humans for accuracy and fairness. Despite efforts to prevent AI errors, occasional inaccuracies may occur. We encourage listeners to cross-check critical details with trusted sources. Read about our AI transparency at nnewscast.com.